had a conversation that oh, the yogurts have this lassi is so sweet, and I was like, well, the yogurt in the supermarket also have so much sugar. They're like, that's true, and my friends were like, we don't know. There is no other option in the marketplace. I'm like, what do you mean? And we can't find yogurt which doesn't have sugar. I'm like, well, I have 4-year-old daughter. She loves yogurt. I never buy a supermarket yogurt. That will kill my daughter, right? So I always make yogurt for my daughter every day. It's like, how can you make the yogurt? My friends were like, how can you make the yogurt at home? Don't you need like a big industrial plant and all that? And no way. It's a if you can regulate the temperature in your yogurt making process, you can make pretty good yogurt.
Right.
And so that's the secret that we have, is that how do we actually make it and in perfect yogurt every time you make it.
So I've been making yogurt now for a bit. I use a machine that I think I got online for, I don't know, $50, $60. It's effectively a little complicated. I need to boil a saucepan of milk. I need to wait for it to cool down. I need to skim a kind of a film of like
cream on the top.
It's not cream. It's like hard. So it's like a. It's not.
It's like a slimy.
It's a slimy kind of.
Right?
Yeah. So you kind of take that.
I mean, it's sort of a disgusting thing.
It's kind of a disgusting thing. You kind of take that off of the top of the milk.
Right.
Then you've got to mix in another carton of milk, another carton of yogurt from somewhere else to add the culture.
That's right.
And then you mix it all together. Then you pour it into jars.
Yes.
Then you put those jars into a machine.
Yes.
You wait 12 hours, somewhere between 10 and 12 hours.
Yeah.
And then you've got to be around when it's done.
Yeah.
So that you can then put it in the refrigerator for another 2 hours so that it cools and solidifies.
That's right.
So altogether it takes about 14, 16 hours. You've got to be there kind of each step of the process, otherwise it stops working.
That's right.
You know. Now I do all that and I make great yogurt, but they're really tiny, but that's a different story. Is yours super complicated? How do you guys get around this need to be involved in the whole process?
Well, ours is not complicated at all. It's like Keurig, like I mentioned before, you know.
Yeah.
Before the Keurig days, it was the same process to make coffee as well, right? And that's exactly what we did. We reinvented this whole yogurt making process at home. So the machine that, by the way, do you know why do you have to fridge your yogurt after it's made? If you don't put it in the fridge, what happens?
It separates.
It actually turns the yogurt sour.
Okay.
Yeah, because
so I ended up with kind of a liquid on top and a kind of junky.
Yes. That too, and also it becomes really, really sour to eat because bacteria continue to grow if you don't stop it. If you don't put it in the fridge, then the bacteria will continue to grow.
Because I was making the mistake of doing it at sort of 8 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
So that 12 hours later, it's 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And then. You know, if I was off to work, I would have. It sits there all day,
and then you go back,
and it goes bad. It's kind of a horrible process.
Yeah. So I know this process. But like I said, I also been making my yogurt, but I do not use any equipment like you do. I use a controlled environment, different way.
Well, now you use a Yomi.
Yes. Now I use Yomi, of course. So yes. So we take away all that pain. So right from the start that you mentioned, you have to pour the milk into a pan and heat it, right?
Not with Yomi.
Not with Yomi. I'm explaining that step by step in things that you do right now and how we eliminate into the Yomi, right?
Okay.
So if you were making yogurt yourself, you will first take the milk, pour it into the pan and heat it, and it will have the slimy cream on the top.
Yeah.
With Yomi, you put it into the Yomi cup, put it into the machine, and machine will start heating the milk and also stir at the same time.
Okay.
So that there is no slimy cream on the top and it's heating up. Then second process, if you DIY yogurt, then you will put it to let it cool for a bit, right? Then Yomi automatically does that, and it does rapid cooling, and it stirs at the same time while it's cooling it, so that there is no slimy.
Is that a bad thing to rapidly cool? It sounds like it isn't a good thing.
No, it's actually a good thing, so that you're stopping the process of making that slimy cream that comes out on the top. If that cream does not form,
we call it a skin in England. It's like a skin on top of.
It's actually in my culture in India, especially, it's called cream. But in Hindi, there's a word called malai.
Malai. So in England, we call it the skin.
Yes.
The skin. So when you have milk get hot and then cold, it has a skin on top.
Yes. So if you're doing it yourself, there will be a thick one on the top. and stir the water and it'll clean the cup.
Okay, so with Yomi, what I need is the Yomi machine.
That's right.
It comes with a glass already, so I don't need it. So I just pour the milk into the Yomi glass.
Yes.
I put the Yomi glass in the machine.
Yes.
It's already set to my preferences, so that it
Yes.
makes the perfect yogurt.
Alright.
And I press the button.
That's it.
Oh, and I need a capsule, a Yo pod
Yeah.
in the top,
Yes.
so that it puts, whether it's the dried fruit or the culture, well, it always puts the culture, but on top of that I can choose dried fruit, I can choose extra protein, I can choose vitamins, nutrients, honey, whatever.
Salty, mango lassi.
Mango, all sorts of different things.
Yeah.
Okay, so that means that so once I bought the Yomi machine, I then should have a relationship with you guys on an ongoing basis to kind of get pods sent to my house.
So our app on the phone has all the recipe that you can use, which uses the recipes show you different yogurt-based foods and drinks.
Got you.
So when you look at that, then on the app itself you can see the recipe and the ingredients for that recipe, and you can get those ingredients directly from us using the app itself.
So you've told us about you guys and about how you make yogurt for your daughter. Who else is part of Lekker Labs?
So right now it's me, my co-founder Peter Olofsson, then Tu-Hin Lei, she's in Orlando and she's the marketing director.
Mm-hmm.
There is Conrad Lee, he's in Hong Kong, he's our manufacturing partner.
Okay.
He's working with our factories to manufacture the thing. And we have Dan Clifton, he's in San Francisco, he's our principal designer who designed how the machine looks like. Then we have Thomas Culin, he's French, and I don't know, maybe I'm not pronouncing his last name right. He is in Hong Kong, and he also works with the factory. He's also a designer, he's a junior industrial designer, and he also does our graphic design, websites, and things like that.
Okay, so there's a multicultural team, multiple locations around the...
We have Vietnamese American, I am Indian, and our co-founder Icelandic. We have a French, we have a Hong Kong Chinese, we have an white American. So we have like 6 country people and almost all ethnicities.
Which is a really interesting thing. So is yogurt universal? Is yogurt a product which most cultures have a version of one way or another?
Yes. It's probably one of the oldest food in the world.
Okay.
Because it probably came from the nomadic tribes where you had the milk, you left it out, and it just turned into yogurt. People thought maybe it's gone bad, maybe it tasted good, so that's how yogurt probably came to life, right? Mm-hmm. And it's been around centuries. In America, this is some sort of a new thing. Not as new, but like 30, 40 years is when it's been introduced, and last 10, 15, 20 years, its benefits has been recognized. Mm-hmm. It's literally superfood, basically. It's good for your skin, good for your digestion, good for your hair, good for, you get the healthy probiotic in your system, sure. And it's a superfood.
So having a machine which makes an organic, healthy food on a daily basis, starting the day the right way, is obviously a significant benefit. Where do people find this product, and when is it going to be available? And is it going to be $1 gazillion for each machine, or what's the thinking?
Not zillion, maybe million. So we are right now finalizing some of our engineering details. We've been working on this for almost a year now, mm-hmm. And we are getting ready to do a crowdfunding campaign. It should be live in sometime May, June, July, depending upon how. Is
that Indiegogo or Kickstarter?
We'll start with the Kickstarter.
Okay.
And then we'll see how things go. Maybe.
But to give us a kind of and obviously things can change, the details can be slightly different. But is this something that's going to be about $100 for the machine?
It'll be in the range of about $99 thingy.
Okay. And there'll be an early bird price.
Yes,
which will be a little less than that?
Yes. So stay tuned for getting your early bird. It will be really cheap for you.
Okay, so early bird in the beginning. So approximately what month is the Kickstarter?
June is, right now we're targeting June, end of May.
End of May, beginning of June. Yeah. And if people want to kind of find out about when the Kickstarter goes live so that they can get their orders in, they can sign up for a mailing list of some kind at Lekker Labs?
Yes. So until then, you can go to www.leckerlabs.com. That is LECKERLABS.com,
Right.
and you can sign up for our waiting list. And when we launch, you'll get to know first, and then you can get the early bird Kickstarter perk.
Okay, so that gets them the machine.
Yes.
They go to the Kickstarter. If they're one of the first movers, they can get your Yomi machine, before anybody else. What about the pods, the Yo pods? Is that something that's expensive? Is that something I'm just sort of thinking? Okay, I've bought the machine, but now I need to buy these pods,
Right.
and I need to get them delivered to my house, or I need to. Will they be available in Target and that sort of thing?
No, we will start with the smartphone app. In our Yomi app, you can look at different flavors and cultures that's available, and you can subscribe to have them delivered on a monthly basis to you.
Okay.
And the subscription will range anywhere between $9.99 to $19.99, depending upon what kind of yogurt, flavors, and ingredients, toppings, everything that you want with your yogurt.
Okay.
So
it starts as an online purchase.
It will be online subscription.
Online subscription. Yeah. What about if I don't want to subscribe? What about if I just want to buy 10 cartridges to try it out?
So that is something we are finalizing, that what the model would work. But so far we have spoken to a lot of people, and people like to eat yogurt on a regular basis.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't want to be doing it every time. I want to order again. Oh, I ran out of it. Then I want to order again. So subscription will have different level of tiers. That's what I say. It's from $9.99 to $19.99.
Mm-hmm.
And then once you subscribe, you don't ever have to worry about it. But you can change what yogurt and flavors you want to get. In that box that you will receive every month.
Okay. Now, you guys who started the company, you applied to foodx when?
So we applied to foodx in October.
Okay.
October 2000.
How did you find the process of getting into foodx?
It was very smooth. I think compared to many other accelerator out there, foodx was the simplest process to apply.
It's like your yogurt, really.
Yeah, exactly, like our machine. Simplicity works the best, right? Because so many other these accelerators have application process which is so cumbersome. It's incredible that why would you want to have a process that cumbersome, and if that kind of detail have already been figured out by a startup, why the hell they need an accelerator, right? So I thought foodx was very precise in terms of the question they asked, the information they needed, the interview process. The whole thing was very smooth, very seamless, and very clear understanding of what is there to offer and what the startup, what we're gonna get out of the program, and so it was pretty good. I was very happy with the process.
Now, at the time when you applied, you and the rest of the team, apart from your industrial designer in San Francisco, you guys were based in Hong Kong?
Right now, yes.
Okay, and that's where your family is, right?
Yes.
And where you are right now is in New York City?
Yes.
So basically you got in December?
Yes.
Okay, you got in December, and then a week and a half to 2 weeks later, you're on a plane landing at New York City to kind of start your...
And frozen to death the day one.
Well, it was snowing. Yeah, it was snowing. Okay, and you've been in foodx now for 2 weeks?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So just to kind of run down, yogurt machine, Yomi, you started maybe a year ago?
Yes.
Okay. What about before that?
Before that, I had another startup.
Okay.
And we built. So, if to start from the beginning, originally I'm a software engineer. I started out as a software engineer, and I moved to Hong Kong, do an MBA. I finished my MBA, and I found a job in Goldman Sachs. I worked there for a couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
Did not get the vibe.
You didn't like the whole investment banking thing?
Well, it's nice. They're doing their things, but it wasn't my thing. And so I decided to do something on my own. I started this company called Easy Systems. We crowdfunded a modular media center device that backs up your photos, videos, music, even from DVDs, music CDs, and everything, and sort it out for you and makes it available on your smartphone wherever you are, and it does it for your whole family. Mm-hmm. So the whole idea was to keep your content, your memory, your music, everything safe with you and not on the cloud, right? And from there, and we sold that company to our factory, and then Peter is a good friend of mine. I've known him for 7 years, and we were he was in the same party that I was in, my friends, and then when we talked about it, and he literally asked me on, we were having beers, and like, dude, how do you make yogurt is pretty cool, and he loves yogurt, he eats it every day. He's like, why don't we make it ourselves? Like, why don't we build something that can make this yogurt? I'm like, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. Let's try that. And then we toyed around with the different ideas of how we could have a lid which does the whole thing, so people can use their own cups, and how we could have it battery operated, and this and that, and then finally we came with this form and shape that we have now.
Now, one of the things I've loved about the Yomi machine is just how attractive it is.
Thank you.
I mean, we have a decent sized kitchen, we have multiple machines. Now, what happens typically is you go out, you get wowed by a machine of some kind, you put it on your kitchen surface, and then after about, I don't know, a month and a half, you get bored of it and you sort of hide it away. The Breville juicer, and you kind of go through this
Tons of
juicing.
garbage there.
Yeah, you go through this whole juicing craze, and then a month later you're going on to the next craze. Yogurt is actually something consistently I eat, so
right.
it's been 5, 10, 15 years or whatever. But your machine is something that not only is functional, it's also attractive. It's something I would quite happily.
And very functional, and its footprint is so small. It's less than 6 inches in diameter. It's a vertical thing. It's like the size of a big king.
It's like a tiny NutriBullet, but actually much more attractive. So for me, it kind of has a kind of Apple type style design. It's got this kind of brushed aluminum. It's tiny. It's got When you say selected retail stores, what kind of companies would you like it to be? And I know obviously you're still putting the pieces together, but what kind of company, where do you envision it being at some point in the future?
So we are in conversation with various stores, which makes sense. Whole Foods is being one of those because they sell the food and they sell yogurt and good organic food there. So this machine makes sense there. Target is another superstore that we're looking at. Think about that could work. Bed Bath and Beyond is another retailer that we're talking to, see if that makes sense there, because these are the places where people go to find things for their living, like for the food, for their and then Best Buy is where people go look for innovative electronics product, and that's where we want to be. So we're talking to Benny and see how.
So nothing's locked in yet.
Nothing locked in.
Early stage conversations,
Right.
but you envision at some point after being online, Kickstarter, etc., that they'll be able to get it maybe at Target, Best Buy. So that's North America. What about the rest of the world?
So after the Kickstarter launch in North America, we'll be looking at the Chinese market and the Japanese market.
Okay.
And we're still working on the details of how we'll be launching those markets, because the launch process is totally different to that.
Same machine? Oh, it'd be different kind of electrical power sources and so on.
So machine would be more or less same, maybe different color and different, definitely different texture, because the yogurt that is eaten in China and Japan, actually China is different and Japan is different, and they use different kind of probiotics and different yogurt.
Seems like one of the things that's going to be quite complicated for you guys, especially if you're providing the YoPods where people get their own cultures delivered, etc., is getting a source of good culture, a source of good, powdered milk, or I don't know, whatever the additives are.
Yeah.
So the machine itself is only just part of the equation in terms of making it successful.
True.
Because people need to get their capsules delivered on a regular basis,
Yes.
right?
So we are already working with very good, trusted suppliers for the culture, and we are also initiating conversation with some of the bigger brands, reputed brands. Can't name them yet. So that is a challenge, but that is also the opportunity.
Okay, perfect. Okay, I've pretty much asked most of my questions. Can I ask maybe a couple of quick ones?
Sure.
Okay. Best kitchen tool or implement you've purchased in the last, let's say, 12 months?
Onion chopper.
onion chopper.
That's right.
What? Okay, what's so special about it?
So you have all these food processors and stuff that can chop onion, right?
Yeah.
So the one that I bought is a manual one. It's you put the onion, you take the onion, cut in two pieces, put the one piece down, and put that thing and boom, 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 boom. Like you do 6-7 times, it's all clean, neat, and you put it back in.
Okay, so I think I've seen it. So it's like a cylinder.
Yes.
You put it on top of the onion, and it's got like a spring-loaded.
Yes, that's right.
Plunger.
Yes.
And you basically go boom, boom, boom.
Yes.
And it.
It's just awesome.
It dices it.
I love it. I do it for onion, chili, garlic, ginger, but I don't buy the paste. And tomatoes and whatever that I need in sort of a fine cut things.
Yeah.
I use that all the time.
Really?
It's fantastic.
Be good with eggs as well. I'm thinking hard-boiled eggs.
Half-boiled eggs.
Hard-boiled eggs.
So yeah, my wife bought that thing recently, like last week, literally.
Yeah.
So with the eggs, you drop that thing, and it shows you the progress, how well the egg is done.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So my wife bought this egg. It looks like a real egg.
Exactly same thing, yeah.
And you put it in your egg container.
Yes.
And it's from Holland.
I don't know.
And it basically plays different tunes. It floats in the water, in the boiling water, alongside the eggs that you're boiling, and it plays one tune when it's at like 4 minutes, and then it plays another tune when it's into hard-boiled territory. Oh. So it has different kind of Dutch songs. It's kind of weird, but good.
Yeah, that is. It could be noisy.
It can be noisy.
Yeah, what my wife bought is like it shows the egg cut from the middle. And it shows that how much egg is done as it's boiling.
Right.
So you exactly know that how hard boiled you want your egg to be.
Perfect. And where does she get that?
I don't know. She bought it. She finds these stuff somewhere. I have no idea.
So this is Hong Kong? Or?
It's in Hong Kong. Yeah.
Okay, got you.
Yeah.
What about reading? Do you read about food? Do you read about business?
I read. I read a lot of serious stuff. I read a lot about history.
Okay.
I read about business, of course. And I read about politics.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's mostly.
Anything that's memorable in the last 6 months, reading wise?
Recently, I finished a book called Hard Things About Hard Things.
Hard Things About Hard Things.
And I finished Churning of Oceans.
Okay.
It's about Indian geography and Indian alternate history,
okay.
Which is from Indians' perspective and not from outside perspective.
Okay.
And what else? So these are two recent books. I also read a very controversial political book. It's called Jews Not My Enemy.
Jews Are Not My Enemy?
Yes. So it's a controversial thing. So it's fun to read.
Okay, cool. Any questions for me, or are we good?
So this is the 5th batch of foodx, right?
Yeah.
So how's your experience and last? How do you compare this batch to your previous 4, and what are the goods and bads of the last 4 batches?
Okay, so no bads.
No bads.
There are no bads.
No bad apples.
Well, no, that's not true. That's not true. So obviously, very very different companies, very different business models, different people. Personalities are absolutely unique. We're not looking for a type. Not that all the founders are not of a certain style or of a certain kind of approach. So we're not looking for extroverts versus introverts or anything like that. I think the downside of doing what we do at foodx is we become very close to the cohort companies that we work with. Okay. All of the founders that we work with become more than just sort of business colleagues, because we're working together 40 hours a week, we're in the same environment. I'm getting called up by people at in the middle of the night with X company wants to buy us, or I'm looking at we've got this investor who's just said yes. Wow, what am I going to do? So I get these kind of wonderful phone calls from people at all times of the day. But that's free
endorphins for you.
Huh?
Free endorphins for you.
Yeah. No. So I mean, so